Hi, Zeus here. There's a new global number one on the main base, and his name is Sergey. And in-game, he goes by the name Comrade. To reach global number one, you have to get really good at 3 boosted offensive attacks, and I'm going to show you some of his best. In his first attack, Sergey is going to use bullet plus all laser rangers, and he's going to carve out a path by clearing mines and clearing a defense all the way to the rear back left corner. And then he's going to flare after getting his troops assembled and taking out an initial sniper tower towards the back, but stop before he gets to the back, and he's going to under smoke take out the rocket launcher there and also a shock launcher and some other defenses. And the reason why he's going to do this is the rocket launcher and the shock launcher on the left there are dangerous to his troops, these laser rangers. All they need to be hit is by one volley from a rocket launcher. The attack's not going to work. He also lands near that shield gen in the back, and that's the only shield gen protecting this base. So with that shield gen down, any damage that he does is going to lower the health of the HQ. And where his bullet is positioned, he's taking the brunt, bullet's taking the brunt of the rocket launcher there in front of the base, the rocket launcher to the right of the base, and the doom cannon. And as he's reducing the health of the HQ, his bullet is losing health, but not at a rate that is too fast, and he's able to clear this base and take down the HQ with just all laser rangers and bullet. The key to this attack is the skill of handling the laser rangers under the smoke. In this next attack, Sergey is going to be bad game, a base controlled by Chen. He's going to use bullet taunt, and to get the bullet up to where he wants the bullet to be before he releases taunt, he's going to clear some mines and then flare and smoke bullet front and to the left of the HQ, and then he's going to land his troops. When he releases the taunt, it's going to attract the attention of the laser ranger, the doom cannon, the rocket launchers, and the shock launchers, all of which are in range of and attracted to the bullet. This allows his troops to clear the entire front of the base without hardly any opposition. And because he's using laser rangers, the laser rangers penetrate through the defenses and through the HQ to the defenses in the rear and clear them as he goes. He uses a barrage to finish clearing the doom cannon. He uses some artillery to finish clearing one of the shock launchers. And he's just methodically taking this base down. He's got some troops on the left side that are going to take down that shield gen there, which is going to further reduce the health of the shield protecting the HQ. And once that shield gen is down, because he's got 3 bombardiers pounding on the HQ, it's going to make it easy for him to finish the job of clearing the base. He flares so that his laser rangers are shooting through the base at the last shock launcher and rocket launcher, but it wasn't even necessary. He overpowered the health of the HQ, cleared the base, and beat the base. By the way, all these bases that Sergey is beating are 9 boosted ice, and he's beating them with 3 boosted offense. Now in this base, he takes a little bit different approach. He uses 2 mechs to take out 2 of the defenses in the front. Meanwhile, he barts out one of the 2 shock launchers, and then he flares to the far right where he lands all of his troops. By taking out the 2 defenses along the beach, he has a little bit extra gunboat energy to finish barting out that shock launcher. Now he's using bullet here with shock knuckles, and the shock knuckles is the equivalent of a widespread area shock, or a couple of shocks. So it basically stuns the defenses and puts them out of commission for a period of time. Meanwhile, his laser rangers are shooting through the core and clearing all of these defenses. He's got a Doom cannon there on the right that's almost cleared, but he doesn't have the gunboat energy to finish the job clearing it, so he flares to it, takes it down, throws some critters to distract the cannon so he doesn't lose his mech as it's going by, and then he reflares to a spot where he has no opposition and then can take down the core very easily. You'll notice a common theme here that every one of these attacks uses Bullet as the hero, and in fact all 8 of the attacks I'm going to show you that Sergey did for this video use Bullet. In this video, Sergey is beating the base of Kryvarushka, who was global #1, a very skilled player from Ukraine. He flares Bullet past the HQ under smoke and lands his troops, and then releases Bullet from the smoke to taunt all of the troops behind the HQ, and puts down a shock to shock the Doom cannon, because the Doom cannon did not lock into the Bullet. But meanwhile, all the other troops are taunted behind the base there by the Bullet, and his laser rangers and other troops have cleared the entire front of the base and are now reducing all of the defenses behind the base by the laser rangers shooting through the HQ towards them. Fortunately, the Grappler took a very long time to die, and in the meantime, almost all of his troops died. In fact, he's down to just a few bombardiers, and he reflares in front of the core, and over a period of about a minute and 20 seconds reduces the core.
A few moments later.
And beats the base. The last 2 videos I'm going to show you are battles where Sergey beats bases with grapplers. The first one here is Saul, who is the leader of the top Vietnamese task force. The Vietnamese have several very skilled players, including Dong, who just recently became global #1, and I think will stay at global #1 for some period of time after Sergey is done with his reign at global #1. Dong was also a member of the Red Hot Legends task force, where I am one of the co-leaders. To attack Saul's base, Sergey lands a spread of mechs, scorchers, bombardiers, and laser rangers across the entire front of the base from left to right, and he shocks the first grappler. The second grappler isn't engaged until after he's beaten the first grappler, and he uses Bullet and Taunt to freeze the grappler for a period of time, and then after his Bullet dies, and then once he's beaten all of the rocket launchers and other defenses in range of the front of the core, he flares to the front of the core and then reduces the health of the core, beats the base. He also uses some boxes of critters to help with that process, and the base goes down. Alright, the last video I'm going to show you is an attack by Sergey against Schlechspel, which is another base controlled by Chen. This one has a Doom cannon right behind the core, a grappler in the rear, and a laser in the front of the core. And that makes things a little bit tricky, especially if you're using low health troops. So Sergey smokes the Bullet into position to distract the laser, and then lands all of his troops on the far right out of the range of the direction that the laser beam is going to shoot at his Bullet. And the troops drift into the middle as well as clearing the right, and then start to get grabbed by the Grappler in the rear. And he finally has his Bullet grabbed by the Grappler, and then he can use the Bullet Grappler freeze taunt technique to take the Grappler out of the action. Meanwhile, his mechs protect his laser rangers while they reduce all of the defenses behind the core, and then he flares all the way to the far right to take out the rocket launcher on the far right and all of the defenses on the far right, and then he's going to flare across the back far back of the base to take out the few defenses there, the last shield gen there, and one of the two rocket launchers he's going to BART out. And then once the shield gen is done, then he's going to flare back where his laser rangers are protected by the Scorcher and the two mechs and take down the base. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. We have over 200 videos on a variety of Boom Beach topics for you to explore. And please give this video a like. It'll help us build the channel. Thanks as always to Hercules for helping with the video editing.